at some points on the freeway, I gotta be honest, I felt unsafe. For let's say 55, 60 miles an hour on up to 70, 75, it really starts to bounce. I've decided I've had enough, so I'm making a change. Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hey, today I wanted to talk about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma up there. You know, I've been having a bit of a problem here recently with the tires up there. You know, I took it in, I had it balanced, the alignment was fine, I didn't have any problem with the alignment. But yesterday I took about an hour and a half trip in the truck, and at some points on the freeway, I gotta be honest, I felt unsafe because it was doing this going down the freeway. Now, I don't know if it just wasn't balanced properly. It seemed to be fine in the beginning, but when I get into higher speeds over, let's say 55, 60 miles an hour on up to 70, 75, it really starts to bounce. Now, I'm over exaggerating. It's not doing this. I'd say it's more like this, if that makes sense. More like this as you're going down the road. You can feel it vibrating in the doors. You can feel it doing this on the road. You slow down below 55, 50, and it pretty much goes away. So I don't know if the tires up there are out of round. I don't know what the issue is, but I've decided I've had enough, so I'm making a change. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing with these up there? I went back into Discount Tire to talk to them yesterday, actually, depending on what day this video goes up. And I've decided, and I kind of decided before I even went there, to be honest, that I was going to change out the setup because I was never real thrilled with the way that this setup, you know, these wheels and tires, and it's really the tires, I think, primarily, but I was never really happy with the way that they rode on my 2018. It was a rough ride. It was just not comfortable. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's a truck. I don't expect it to ride like a premium grade Lexus or a Cadillac or something, but I do expect it to be at least as livable or as comfortable as the Jeep out there. You guys can see right out there, right? Look at the size of the tires on that Jeep. I mean, they're huge, and it rides 100 times better than my Tacoma does with a smaller setup. So I've just decided that the Nitto Ridge grapplers are not for me. Now maybe I have a bad set of tires. I don't know. Maybe storing them for 6 months caused a problem. Who knows? I can't imagine. But I decided that I'm going to replace them, and I'm going to go with the Goodyear Duratrax. I'm going to go with the same ones that I had, well, similar, same brand, that I have on the Tundra, because I lifted the Tundra. Granted, I did keep the stock wheels and tires on, and it did come with the Goodyears, but you couldn't even tell the difference. I mean, it felt like the same truck. After I lifted it, it felt exactly the same to me. So I didn't really have any issues with that. I'm perfectly comfortable with it. But I've decided that I'm also going to replace the wheels. I'm going to go with something smaller because I want to get more sidewall. You know, the key to having a comfortable tire, in addition to the tread pattern that's on it, of course, or the tread depth, is sidewall. You know, the more sidewall you have, the more the tire will absorb, you know, bumps and ruts and stuff like that on the road, or even off-road, than if you have a real skinny sidewall, you know, like those real low profile tires and things, tires and wheel setups. I mean, I've had them before in cars, and you definitely can tell a difference. So I'm going with a 17-inch wheel and a 285 17-inch tire, in hopes that that's two things. One, that it's going to solve my bouncy problem that I have, and two, that I'm going to get a more comfortable, livable daily drive out of the Tacoma up there. Because quite frankly, with the setup that's on it right now, it isn't even fun to drive. I mean, as I mentioned, when I was taking my trip the other day on the freeway, at times it almost felt dangerous. You know, it reminded me of issues I'd seen on the web of the Jeep death wobble. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but that's basically where the front tires do this because of a bad setup, right? Now, it wasn't that kind of an experience for me. It was this kind of an experience, not this kind of an experience. So I don't attribute anything to the lift. A couple people have brought up to me, well, maybe something happened when you had it lifted. You know, it was a simple lift. I mean, it's just a block and spacer, that's it. There was nothing done with the suspension or anything like that. I'm not going to say I'm ruling that out and that there's absolutely no possibility. I mean, as soon as you take a bolt off anything, there's a possibility that it could cause issue with something else, right? So I fully understand that. But given my experience on the 2018 Tacoma and how unsatisfying or uncomfortable the ride was on that truck, I really don't think that it has anything to do with the lift. Again, I could be wrong, and once we go ahead and switch these wheels and tires out, you know, I'll know for sure, I guess. Now, I will say a smart man probably would have put the OEM wheels and tires that were on the truck when I bought it back on and done a little test. But hey, I never claimed to be a rocket scientist, right? And to be honest with you guys, I actually did sell that set of wheels and tires because, again, I don't ever plan on getting rid of this truck. I plan on having this truck until it dies. I've said before, it was born with me and it's going to die with me. So there was no reason for me to keep the original setup. I was never going to go back to it, and eventually the tires would just sit and rot anyway. And there's always chance of damaging the wheels and stuff, as they would have just sat around in storage. So they would have dry rotted before I ever would have gotten around to selling them down the road. So they're gone. So I couldn't do that. So we're going to find out in the next few days. The new wheel and tire setup should be coming in. And I'll come back on, shoot a video, and I'll give you my experience. I'll actually, as soon as I drive out of there, with the new wheel and tire setup, I'll come on and let you guys know what my experience is right off the bat. One other thing for those of you who might be wondering, two things here. Number one, the wheels and tires will be for sale, or not the wheels and tires, the wheels will be for sale on the channel. So if anybody's in the area here and is interested in some 20-inch fuel wheels for their Tacoma, hit me up, drop me a message or something. We'll see what we can work out on that. The tires are going to be gone. Discount Tire is actually giving me $50 a tire for those tires. So I got $200 back out of them, I guess. I don't know. They can have them. That's it. That's what I'm doing right now. A lot of people have asked me, so I wanted to come on and give you guys a bit of an update as to what my crazy situation is here. Now, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've ever experienced this and what your resolution was. Don't forget, check out my other channel if you haven't already. It's called Robb Motion. And it's all about the Jeep Gladiator back there. And don't forget, click that notification bell. I think it's right over there, so that you don't miss any upcoming videos and you can see what happens with my tire saga. Thanks for watching. Bye.